Okay, guys. This is take two of this video. I was like 3.5 minutes in, but I was just going on and on because I got a lot on my mind about this. But the things I want to say, the bottom line is, fuck the guys who came and flooded my video yesterday while I was trying to be very serious about what's Mark Kelly's going through. Somebody I really admire. He came and spoke at my college a bunch of times. I actually got to meet him face to face, talk to him, shake his hand, ask him questions. He was an astronaut, a Navy captain, really cool guy, really good American, and he's married to Gabrielle Giffords, who got shot in the head and almost died. 6 people around her died. And I don't fuck around with political violence. You know, my rhetoric can be pretty aggressive and harsh because I'm mad, but I'd never advocate for political violence on here. If I did, I wouldn't be here. I'd be gone. But I don't want what happened to Melissa Hortman and her husband and her dog to happen to any of these fucking lawmakers. And Trump's got to go. We have to impeach and remove this man before he literally gets these people killed. Because he's facing narcissistic collapse, which is a mental health crisis where a person with narcissistic personality disorder, when they lose their, their admiration, their source of like constant praise, or they're facing public humiliation, they will face a literal collapse where they will start lashing out and escalating, which is what we're witnessing right now when Donald Trump wants to charge these people with sedition and execute them. We've reached a fever pitch. We've reached a red line, and we got to decide what we're going to do about this guy. But here's new. The FBI reached out to the Capitol Police to arrange interviews with Dems and video the troops. I'm watching this for the first time, be reacting to it. So here we go.
Joining me now is MS Now's Ken Delanian and law professor at
Ken
Southwestern Law School,
intelligence
former
guy,
JAG
right?
officer Rachel Van Landingham. Thank you both for being here. Ken, I understand you have brand new reporting about the investigation into this
Ken
video.
looks like intelligence.
Chris, we've learned via a person familiar with the matter that the FBI has reached out to schedule interviews with the 6 senators. They've done that through the Capitol Police, and that doesn't mean there's an FBI
what is it? Okay, for real, like, if you have some levity with this, what's an intel reporter? It's just like a former CIA agent who's like just, massaging the news.
Wait, but it is a remarkable development.
This guy looks like a CIA agent. I'm sorry. And I know that they don't have a look, but they really do. And this guy looks like a fucking spy. I've always thought that about Ken Delane. I don't know anything about his background, but he looks like a spy.
Considering what they actually said and whether there's any evidence of a crime. Most people think there is not. But nonetheless, the FBI is reaching out to schedule these interviews. Of course, one of the issues here would be the speech and debate clause. Members of Congress are protected.
Yes. I know I'm just about to spoil what he's about to say, but I know about this. Man, members of Congress have like an extraordinary latitude in terms of what they can say. Like, they have the First Amendment just like us, but it's like they can say a lot, man. You basically have full immunity while you're down on the floor of Congress.
From prosecution for things they say and do connected to their legislative duties, not just things they say on the House or Senate floor, but things connected to their legislative duties. No doubt they would argue that this statement falls under that bailiwick. But again, we're a long way from that. But it is interesting and newsworthy that the FBI is reaching out to.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. When I do these, I never put captions on. I always feel there could be deaf people watching this, and that wouldn't really help you with what I mean. You could put subtitles on for what I'm saying too. But sorry about it. I'll be putting them on for from here on out.
Chris.
Thank you so much for that. So, Rachel, obviously that is separate and apart from what I want to talk to you about, because that involves all 6. Let's talk about what's facing Mark Kelly. When they say they're launching a review, in military terms, what are they reviewing and what does an investigation actually look like?
Thank you. So it would look like just going through the video and determining whether or not any of this, what I believe is absolutely First Amendment protected free speech, would fall.
They said nothing wrong, nothing controversial. I watched that ad like at least 20 times. So like trying to find anything questionable. I don't understand what the controversy is about this. I love that fucking ad.
Any of the articles
it's patriotic as hell.
Military justice with it, which is the military's military penal code, and to see if it rises to the level of one of the military crimes that does restrict service member speech to a greater degree. It's really crazy here, though, and unusual, because the UCMJ actually does still apply to retirees like myself, like to Senator Kelly, but to abuse it in such a way to try to threaten a sitting senator to be court-martialed under one of the UCMJ provisions is just extraordinary.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're clear because, Rachel, the president said this was evidence of seditious behavior, but sedition is not mentioned in the tweet from the Pentagon. It only says that military retirees are subject to federal laws, and I'm quoting here, that prohibit actions intended to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces.
And another reason I'll be pausing I'm afraid I'm like gonna get in trouble. So, like copyright, they might think I'm just stealing their content, but I gotta give you people gotta understand. I know people complain about me pausing to give thoughts, but you gotta understand. I got to give substantial or transformative commentary, as they call it, or I'll get a copyright strike. I have to give my thoughts here. I'm paranoid, but these people violated none of this. I don't understand, man, what the big deal is here. These lawmakers did nothing wrong, and I will die on that hill. I've never been like a massive like fan of politicians. I've said awful things about them, nothing illegal, but awful things, nothing violent, but bad things. And but I don't hate these, man. I will go to bat for you every single time. If all you're talking about is reminding service members that they have an obligation to disobey unlawful orders, like what are we talking about here?
So do we know what law or what regulation they're saying he broke?
Sure. I think they're referring to an old 1948 Cold War era statute, 18 U.S.C. 2387, which I believe
And I'm trying to understand. And did I mention why I'm so upset about this? Another reason I'm upset, the main reason is because you put people's lives in danger. But I hope that didn't sound like selfish. That's not my intent. I meant one of the reasons was I woke up this morning to like 3 comments on the video. I was like, okay, are people actually understanding, like have real thoughts on this? And all of it was just insults and like shitting on Mark Kelly. Hey man, why can't people take anything seriously? Like this is national security. This is people's lives and livelihood and their safety. Did mention this? But Mark Kelly, do you know who he's married to? Gabrielle Giffords. She was shot in the head in like 2009. She almost died. She was a senator. Or no, excuse me, congresswoman. No, she was a senator, wasn't she? Wasn't Gabby Giffords a congresswoman and a senator at one point? But shit, whatever she is, an American fucking hero. And I asked that troll, you talking shit about Mark Kelly? I said Mark Kelly flew 39 combat missions, almost got shot down and died. And he went to space 4 times. And what have you ever done? This man's an American hero, a legend.
Unconstitutional following the 1969 Brandenburg case from the United States Supreme Court, but it attempts to criminalize, words or actions that if they have the intent to interfere.
You would never hear Kush shit on 3 groups: police, military, and women. I know women is like the one that doesn't belong in that, but man, I hate misogyny too. I refuse to participate in any of that bullshit because they're not bad. None of those 3 groups.
With the loyalty of those in the service to get them to basically disobey orders. But again, the actual video said you have to obey lawful orders. You don't have to obey unlawful orders. So even under the actual terms of that statute, the senator's conduct does not meet its terms.
In that video, Democratic lawmakers told U.S. forces who may be asked to carry out an illegal order, quote, "We have your back," but provided no details about how. In this environment,
it's an ad. What are you supposed to say?
Of war, as they call it, what is a member of the military facing? Should they refuse to follow an order they believe to be
It's
illegal?
a court-martial.
And if the military goes after them for it, is there anything Congress can do about it?
Oh, well, Congress needs to actually legislate and pass those resolutions that call for the president to not bomb, engage in murder campaign against drug cartel members on the high seas. But
who is this woman? Rachel Van, I can't see her name. Van Lanham? Van Lanham? Ken Landingham? Fuck. Oh, she's a JAG officer. That's why she's so well versed in this. But man, God bless this woman. I thought Ken Delaney was the man. This woman is, yes, you need to pass a fucking piece of legislation to stop Donald Trump from being a mass murderer in the Caribbean. He's killing fishermen. What are we doing here? He's killed like 68 people.
Members themselves are in a predicament. They have a legal duty to follow all lawful orders, and that includes all those that come from an
This shit
appropriate
pisses
authority
me
and
off.
relate to a
I felt
military
developed
duty.
a
There's a
stomach
legal
ulcer.
presumption that all orders are lawful because the lifeblood of the military is obedience to orders. A military member can disobey an order. However, they do so at their own peril, the peril of being court-martialed for the crime of disobedience. It's a military unique crime. However, military members also...
I hate that the military has its own code of justice. What the fuck is that? We're all Americans here. They should just face the same one we do. I know court martials and a typical court proceeding aren't that different, but they really are. When you got your own code.
Have a legal duty to disobey unlawful orders, but those
It should be like,
orders,
when you disobey it, what you think is an unlawful, it should be like a civil, just like I don't know. I don't know, man. But you probably get kicked out. But man, I don't think you should, man. I know it can hurt morale. How the fuck do we square this? Like, the problem is we have a military code of justice and a normal code of justice, and there's no in between. Man, I don't understand what we're supposed to do here. Like, this is what I always feared: the military and the president facing off. How the fuck do you square that when he's giving the commands?
fall into the category either they already know it's unlawful, and with the military strikes out,
never had to worry about that with the other president.
Legal counsel memo saying they're lawful, right? So the military member either needs to know it's unlawful or that should know that the order falls into a patently, manifestly illegality, that is ordering a crime such as go shoot those civilians who are peacefully protesting in Chicago, or bomb this migrant boat that's in the middle of the Caribbean with all civilians in
how
it
do you
that are
fire
just fleeing their
that
country,
boat?
right?
The
Those would
fishing
fall
boats.
into the small
You
category
know those
of
aren't
crimes
drug boats.
that a military member absolutely has a legal duty to disobey, or they're guilty of the actual crime they're committing. They would be guilty of murder.
Man, this video's got me mad emotional. I'm just because like, I care deeply about this shit, and like, I can't imagine what those service members are going through. They have to shoot at these boats. Like, they're people too. People talk shit about service members. They're people at the end of the day. Are human beings too. They got to think about that shit. They got to live with that.
And so the senator's video,
I hate that they have to
provide
fucking
that more
they
nuance,
can't do that.
that our military members are really in a catch-22 when it deals
They
with
don't
orders
want to
they
be
may
doing
feel
that.
are unlawful, but they don't know are unlawful, and their own chain of command are saying is unlawful. It provides this patina of legality, and it puts them in a precarious position. The illegality of an order will be a complete defense to them, but the punishment is the process. They would have to face being court-martialed potentially for disobedience.
Yeah, their
or
fucking
face
career
adverse administrative
ruined.
action that
This
bypasses
is
the
not
court-martial
good.
process and tries to administratively separate them. And so our military members, unless they already know an order is unlawful, ordering a specific crime like shooting at civilians or shooting a detainee in their custody, they disobey at their peril.
It doesn't make me feel any better. I got family members serving right now, active duty, all branches, and does not make me feel better. I hate this motherfucker so much, man. This is, and just know that if any of you troll assholes this morning see this, just know what you're fucking with. I'm an American, a patriot that feels real emotion about this, and I'm distressed. And I know you won't care. You don't care about my emotions. Just know I'm a human being with emotions too. And like, I didn't even go too hard on those guys because they don't know what they say. Two are ignorant, they're hateful, they're insecure, and I feel so sorry for them. But everybody else with your head on right, pray for the members of our military because they really have there's no way for them to win here.